I wear a hat every day. A hat gives you a great deal of confidence. Hats stand for the empowerment of women. And when a woman is about to take care of business, she puts on her hat. I am Reverend Georgette Morgan Thomas, and I'm the proud owner of American Hats. I grew up during the Civil Rights Movement, and so all the women that I knew, when they marched, they put on their hats. During the women's suffrage movement, women wore hats. For many, many years, I've worked as a social worker, a pastor, and community leader. You're so welcome, Hector. 2 years ago, I was thinking about retirement. I learned that the legendary S&S Hat Factory in Philadelphia was closing. People were going to lose their jobs, and the art form of hat making was going to be jeopardized. So I bought the factory. This was something way outside of the things that I've usually done, but I felt that I could do the impossible. In the beginning, the transition was really tough. I had to get up at 3:30 in the morning and get on the train and go to Philadelphia. I knew nothing about manufacturing, so that was extremely risky. The factory had a customer base that was strictly dress hats. And so what we had to do to survive was to develop hats that were more casual and that would be more appealing to a younger and broader base. I began to understand that there was this tool that could be used on the computer to boost our sales. Now we're finding that we're doing about 45% of our business online. We have a lot of new customers who are finding us. The struggle is starting to be joy because the company is seeing a profit. One of my ambitions for this place in my life is to become the most outstanding manufacturer of hats in the world. What's most important is that we have left our impact upon others, and especially those who love us, because that's how our story continues on.
Good morning, and welcome to Google Partners Connect, broadcasting live from the Googleplex here in Mountain View, California. My name's Trey. I'm part of the Partners Marketing team here at Google, and we're thrilled to have you all tuning in with us. Now, this Partners Connect is an especially special event because we're partnering with Google's Get Your Business Online team in honor and celebration of National Small Business Week. We'd like to send a special thank you and hello to the thousands of local businesses tuning in live with us today. As always, we have an amazing lineup of speakers here for you to talk about how you can grow your business online with Google and strategies you can put into place to make the most of your online advertising budget. But before we get started, here are two important things to remember during the broadcast. First, for those of you tuning in live from a Google Partner Viewing Party, the partners in the room are the true experts. They've all been certified by Google and can answer any questions you might have during or after this broadcast. Second, we would love to hear your feedback and questions on Twitter. Just use hashtag PartnersConnect to join the conversation. Now, without further ado, it's my pleasure, my honor to introduce our first speaker, Jesse. Jesse's a Partner Enablement Manager at Google, and here to talk about the importance of establishing a strong online presence in order to be found by local consumers and some of the key search trends we're seeing today. Jesse?
Thank you so much, Trey. It's my pleasure to be here, especially in honor of National Small Business Week. That's very, very exciting. Congratulations to you all. All right, I wanted to start out by talking a little bit about what we do at Google. Throughout the year, we meet with a lot of small businesses all across America, gathering insights into what makes these businesses unique, what challenges that they're facing, and all sorts of other information. And what we do with that is we look for how we can help solve for these challenges and help you, the local businesses in your communities, thrive and help you connect with these local customers. So we know that we're dedicated to creating these impactful tools for the 29 million small businesses out there. And one way we can do this is because we know that there are billions of searches happening every single month in the area of local. So these would be things like, restaurants, plumbers, any of these small businesses. So we want to share with you some of those trends and then talk about some of the great things you can do with that stuff, which brings us to our topic, building a local presence. So our agenda for today is we are going to review the local landscape. We're going to look at emerging customer trends, and then we're going to talk about how Google can help. Then we will have a live Q&A, so please make sure you are inputting those questions throughout this live stream. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so whether you have an online service-based business providing coverage within a certain geographic area, or you're a brick and mortar store looking to drive foot traffic, you've most likely experienced the massive change that has come with mobile. Where we all know this, we've been talking about this for a while. Mobile helps us accomplish many, many things in our daily lives, like looking for a local restaurant that accepts last-minute reservations because I forgot to do that before, or looking for an emergency locksmith because I lost my keys again, right? These are things that we expect to find nearly instantaneously. And if we reflect on that for a minute, we can realize that mobile is an incredible game changer in our personal lives, but also for you as small to medium businesses. And it's not just an epic game changer, it's also a prerequisite to doing business anymore. Couple of stats for you. So we see that 87% of smartphone owners turn to search first in a moment of need. We also see that 30% of all mobile searches are related to location. And as technology continues to progress, the need for local businesses to not only meet, but anticipate the needs of potential customers becomes even more crucial. Luckily, when we look at consumer search trends, we can provide some sort of an understanding of this intent. So these are some things we'll be looking at. And when we reviewed these trends from last year, we actually saw that a super empowered, not superpowered, that'd be pretty cool, but a super empowered customer took shape. This super empowered customer had 3 key traits. 1, very curious. 2, incredibly demanding. And 3, very impatient. If any of you have small children, this sounds a lot like them. Let's dig into these 3 things and take a look at what this actually looks like. So first, today's customer is curious. So let's all face it, we've become a bit research obsessed, right? Has anyone had like a weird mole or some kind of something in their throat and you're on Google search for an hour looking at what that might be? We have immediate access to information and we want to know everything about everything. And recent analysis shows that people are incredibly curious about even really small things. As an example, the search for best travel pillow has increased by about 300% in the past couple years. So what does this mean for you, the local businesses? Well, given the amount of choice we have as consumers, every decision we make has to be an informed one. So that's where you come into play. Here's an example of this. When we look at shoppers, when they're considering a new purchase, they spend about 13 days on average shopping for that item. And we've seen 80% growth in mobile searches for best terms in the past couple of years, right? So this is what they're searching for. How they're doing it has also changed quite a bit too. We also see that specificity has increased. So people are getting more specific with these searches, especially in this best category. As an example, when users used to search for best laptop, now they're searching for best laptop for 3D animation. Or before, when it was best family vehicle, now it's best family vehicle with a moonroof and automatic doors, right? So people are getting very, very specific with their searches. And as consumer searches continue to be driven by curiosity and intent, the importance for local businesses to be easily discoverable and provide these curious shoppers with advice is more important than ever before. This brings us to our second trend. Today's consumer is demanding, okay? They have higher and higher expectations than ever before. They expect tailored experiences without having to reintroduce themselves every time, without having to spell out their request. That's just way too much work. We don't have time for that, right? We've seen that a recent study showed that nearly 2/3 of mobile smartphone users are more likely to purchase from a business whose mobile site or app is customized to their actual location. Okay, so we are incredibly demanding. We've seen more than an 85% increase in mobile searches for where to buy a certain product, right? And we also see that 6 out of 10 internet users check whether a product is actually available or in store in stock in that local store before they actually go to that store to buy it. People know it's possible for their phone to show them where to buy and if it's in stock, and when this is available, they actually expect it. So the trends are really clear here, and we need to take note. Also, I do need to mention that people might be sharing less information about their location or what they're actually looking for, but they still expect incredibly relevant and accurate information. So marketers, you may have been used to customers, detailing out exactly what they're looking for, but now we need to actually be able to infer and interpret their signals to understand what they actually want. And the brands and businesses that are willing to go that extra mile, these are the ones that can expect to see the best results. Finally, today's consumer is impatient. I know probably you guys are waiting to hear, okay, this is great, Jesse, love these trends, but when can we hear about how we actually put these into play? This is because you've been trained to be very impatient. Today's consumers are willing to invest their time researching, as we saw that 13-day stat before, but in each of these micro moments where they're searching, they want to know, go, do, buy, act, and get now, right? Yesterday. They want the experience to be fast and they want it to be frictionless, especially on mobile. The ability to get things done in the moment, paired with the fact that businesses have gotten increasingly better at meeting these high demands of the consumers, is driving expectations even higher than they ever were before. And because of this, people are leaving things for the last minute and they're making more on-the-spot decisions. In fact, we've seen a threefold increase in Open Now searches. So what this means is that people are looking for Open Now because they have these impromptu needs. Now, this can be impromptu such as, I have some spare time, I should probably get my nails done, right? And looking at my nails, I probably should. But it's also for emergency situations, like, I just cut my finger, I should run to the emergency room, right? See, cut my finger, it's fine, I didn't. But this is what we're looking for, not only impromptu, but also emergency. And people are searching in the exact moment that they need something, and they want you to answer that need immediately. So just to recap, today's consumers are incredibly curious, they're demanding, but they're also really impatient.
Wow, that's a tough time to be a local business.
Yes, it is. It's also an exciting time.
Very exciting. I think the frictionless demand is really something that Google can help account for as well.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Jesse. That was super informative. Before we move on to our next presenter, I'd like to take one moment to highlight something that you mentioned, and that's our Google Partner Program. I know many of the attendees today are tuning in live from a Google Partner viewing party, and you might have heard of a Google Partner, but you're not quite familiar with what it means. Well, it means quite a bit. To be certified as a Google Partner, an agency must meet a rigorous set of requirements that prove their ability to help businesses like yours succeed online, time and time again. That includes passing an online advertising exam, following Google's best practices, and managing a pretty significant AdWords investment. But with that, it's my pleasure to bring up our next speaker, Stasia. Stasia is a lead SMB educator for Google's Get Your Business Online program, and here to talk about some strategies that you can implement to make the most of Google My Business. But before that, let's take another look at an example of one business using the web to engage with new customers and thrive online.
Ice cream has definitely been a lifelong passion. So when I went to architecture school, I thought I can use food to make architecture more fun, and that eventually led me to Cool House. I'm Natasha.
And I'm Freya.
This little man is Remy, our son, and we co-founded Cool House Ice Cream together.
Not only did we not know what we were doing, but we were also in a brand new relationship with each other.
It was a lot.
So it was insane.
We were together all the time, so we were always thinking of ways to make new cool flavors. Okay, how could we break this down into an ice cream? Milkshake and fries, a buttered French toast, midnight munchies, mascarpone strawberry cheesecake. Our flavors are crazy and really outside of the box. In 2011, we opened our brick and mortar scoop shop in Culver City. Our Google listing has been really an important part of our business. like that open sign. It's all about discovery right now. You really have to have that, and then you can still drive that foot traffic. The thing I always dreamed of and was doing as like a passionate hobby, and now I've made it my day-to-day existence. Now we distribute our 24 products in about 5,000 grocery stores in every state of the country. The world's our oyster because we have such a cool brand and such a cool culture. I feel like there's nothing that we can't do if we set our mind to it.
Thank you, Jessie, for the great information about today's consumer trends. Hi, everybody out there. My name is Stasia, and I'm the lead educator for Google's Get Your Business Online program. My presentation is going to follow up on the topics that we previously introduced, but I'm going to focus on how Google can help you reach local customers. So Google can help your local business get found online. It's critically important that your business appear on any device when consumers want to know, go, do, or buy. And people are searching before they're buying. 3 out of 4 online consumers say that they use a search engine to find a business, and 7 out of 10 actually made a purchase from a business that they found using a search engine. As Jessie mentioned, people are searching locally. There are billions of local searches made monthly. Over about 30% of the mobile searches are actually related to location, meaning that your local business has a great opportunity to appear at the very moment that somebody is searching for you. Ideally, that your business is going to appear on these search results when people are looking for products and services that are related to your business. So today I'm going to focus on one way that your business can appear to local customers using a product called Google My Business. It's a free business listing that publishes your most critical business information across Google Search and Google Maps. Businesses can create or claim their listings and take full advantage of all of the features, including real-time updates, reading and responding to customer reviews, sharing photos and videos, and more. If you look at this screenshot behind me, you can see how this business, Pie Junkie, uses their listing to help local customers find their shop. The owners of this small local business say that Google My Business helps customers find their location, which can be a bit tricky to find without directions. And thanks in part to Google My Business and their amazing pies, people find their shop, and reportedly there are lines around the block outside the door. I'll tell you that I personally went to Oklahoma City and tried one of their pies, and I still have dreams about the drunken turtle pie. It is so delicious. It is worth a trip to Oklahoma City. Business owners who actively update their listings to showcase their products and their services are far more likely to attract customers and new customers when they're doing searches across Google Search and Google Maps. So let's start with the first thing that you would need to do. First of all, add as much information as you can to your listing. A complete listing is more likely to actually connect you with customers. Compare these two screenshots. You can see an empty listing and a complete listing. The complete listing is going to give more value to someone who's doing the search. It's going to provide more useful information and be more likely to get that person, that searcher, to connect with the business. We see that in the data. We see that consumers are far more likely to consider a business more reputable if it has complete business information. We see that people are more likely to actually visit a business that has more info, and people are more likely to consider making a purchase from businesses that have all of the information provided within their listing. So let's start there, adding all the information, but then think about all of the other things, the bells and whistles that can make it stand out. Add photos, add videos. And did you know that there are lots of other features that are built right into Google My Business that can help connect you with local customers? That's what I'm going to be talking about today. I'm going to show you how to stand out with fresh content. I'm going to show you how you can use Google My Business to engage with local customers. And I'm going to show you how you can use this tool to discover new local customers. So when you first created your listing, you had a chance to put in all of your most important critical information. Things like your address and your phone number, your hours of operation, your special hours like holiday hours. But you can also use it to deliver timely content, fresh content, which will help it stand out even more when people discover it across Google Search and Maps. And I'm going to start by talking about my favorite new way to do that, and that is a feature called Posts. You can now post directly to your Google My Business listing to promote things like events and products and services across Google Search and Google Maps. In this example, you see a post that's promoting an event in Louisville, Kentucky, the Southern Supper Series. The post includes a photo and a date and a time and a description, and you can even click a link to book your spot at the table. This post will appear to customers in just a few minutes once you write it, and it will stay there with the listing for 7 days. One note, if it's an event, the post will come down after the event date has passed. So after that, the post will expire, and then that's a chance for you as the business owner to go back in there and write something new and something fresh to keep your Google My Business listing fresh and up to date. If you want to see a historical record of the post, you can actually see it on mobile devices. So how can you use this to promote your business? Well, there are lots of ways to do it. I'm going to showcase a few real small local businesses that are using posts to promote their businesses, their products, and their services. First, I want to point out Tecovas Fine Bootmakers. So they actually closed their retail space, moved online, and now they're building a bigger and better space because their brand is doing so well. So they used posts to make that announcement to people. I'll tell you that I recently bought a pair of these boots and they're amazing. The second thing, or the second way that people are using these posts is to actually let people know about events. And so the second example shows the Missouri Star Quilt Company, and they were letting customers know that they were having a birthday bash to celebrate the 9th anniversary of their business. Congratulations, that's really wonderful. The third example I want to show you is from a business called the Natural Baby Company. And that is promoting these really cool teether toys that you can actually chew on it. And it looks like your baby is chewing an ice cream cone. And so you can use posts to promote the arrivals of popular products. You can show them what's coming, what you've got in stock. There's a business that I work with, a small local one-woman shop in Nashville, Tennessee. And she imports these soaps from France. And so she is using posts very actively to let her customers know when she gets new varieties into her store, and they sell out very quickly. You can also use posts to let people know where you are. So the Natural Baby Company had a new location open up, so they were able to use it to show a map to help customers find their new retail space. And there's a new update that I wanted to point out, that you now have the ability to include offers and create posts with coupons and codes directly, and a link to redeem the offer directly within the Google My Business post. So you can go into your account and look at all of the different ways that you can keep your content fresh and up to date and help connect with local customers. If you're not sure whether or not this is going to be something that's going to help your business, well, don't take my word for it. You can actually go in and you can see within your account whether or not people are actually looking at posts. But before you get started let's talk about what you can do to make it stand out. Let's cover 5 tips from making that post that really catches a user's attention. First of all, think about what it is that you're trying to do. That's going to help you select the right post type. So if it's a product announcement, is it an upcoming event? Is it a time-sensitive offer? Is it a deal? Do you have news to share about your business? And then once you've decided that, try to find the most compelling visual that helps express what you're trying to communicate to your local customers. A high-quality photo or video can reinforce your message and help your post stand out. Make sure it's appealing, in focus, well lit, and it uses vibrant colors to help it pop. Third, if it is an event, you can give it a title. So you wanted to try to describe the event in 4 to 5 words. You have up to 58 characters to let people know what's about to happen. Another thing that you can do is provide details. With a post, you can actually write a description up to 1,500 characters. Our recommendation is about 150 to 300 characters. And as a former journalist, just remember, don't bury the lead. Tell people immediately what it is that you're trying to promote and why they care about the product or service or announcement that you're sharing via this post. Last but not least, and you'll hear me say this a lot, include a call to action. It seems like I'm always talking about this, that I'm repeating this piece of advice in all of the workshops that I teach, but it truly does make a difference. If you tell people what you hope to happen next, what next step they should take as a result of seeing your marketing messages, it can really have a significant impact. So if you want someone to book a reservation for that special supper, or book a trip to this particular location, or find directions to come visit your new retail store, or buy this thing online, let them know what that next step should be. And you may see some significant results just by adding that call to action. So once you've done this, here's where you can actually see whether or not your posts are working for your business. There are insights that are built directly into this feature within the Google My Business listing. So if you sign into your Google My Business dashboard, you can go to your posts and you can see how many views and engagements an individual post received. So one way that you might use this is you might try a variety of different posts and then go back and look and see, well, which types of posts are resonating with people who see them? Are people more likely to go and take a next step when they see an event or a special product promotion? This can help you find areas where you can improve your listing and try to appeal to people who see your posts on Google Search and Google Maps. Here's another great feature. Google My Business is now allowing you to show video content, up to 30 seconds of video. Videos used to be big budget campaigns that were created exclusively within studios, but now just about anyone who has a mobile phone can make a video with their device. But that doesn't mean it's a good video. So what makes a video effective? How can you make your content stand out? How can you make it help your business? So there's no secret recipe. There's no guarantee that this is going to be the next video that goes viral. But here are a few things to keep in mind that can help you create a video that supports your business goals. First of all, think about the story that you're trying to tell. What is it that you want people to get from watching that video? So a fancier way to say that is to front load your story arc. But in other words, attract their attention right from the beginning. People have a choice. They can watch the video or they can leave. And you have seconds to grab their attention and let them know, convince them that this is a video that's worth spending the time to watch in full. Another thing to keep in mind is brand placement. It really matters. In some cases, we've found that being overly salesy actually doesn't really help your bottom line. A far better approach may be to actually show your products, your services in natural usage. Show it being used, showing how people use it and how it helps their lives. This is another way that you can use videos to support your business goals. Another thing to think about is creating that emotional connection. Do you feel emotionally connected over video? So I'm a real human, and that's what you're going to try to convey on these videos. Try to make that fourth wall break between me, the person on the screen, and you, the person out there watching this video. The more you can make that connection with the people who are watching, the more likely you are to be able to tell your story, communicate the message about your products and your services and your business and your brand that you want to get through as they watch the videos. Last but not least, a call to action, again, just like I spoke about before, can really make the difference. If I have spent the time watching your funny video, watching the video that shows me all of this really neat information about your products and services or builds that suspense, tell me what I'm supposed to do next. Guide me to that next step in that process, and that will help you get people to take that desired action as a result of watching the video. All right, so let's talk about another way that you can use Google My Business to get noticed by customers. You can use it to create a free website directly from your listing. We have found that business listings that include a link to a site generally get 25 to 35% more clicks. Now, if you already have a business website, that's great. But if you are a business that's brand new and you're just getting started, you're just getting ready to dip your toes into launching a business website, this is a great feature that can help you get started in a matter of minutes. All you'll need to do is create your Google My Business listing, and in a matter of a few clicks, you can generate a website that pulls the information that you put in from your business listing. To make the most of your Google My Business website, you can select a template that best fits the personality of your business. You can add additional images into a photo gallery to help people see your products and services. You can write an introductory text to let people know what the website is about. And as you go and you work on this website, you'll see that like all of Google's products, it is evolving and new features and updates will always be added. One of the newest features that I've seen is the ability to add a contact form, similar to what you see in the screenshot behind me. Plus, it now integrates the posts that I previously just talked about. They'll now appear on your Google My Business website. So that's another way that you can use your Google My Business listing to keep content fresh and up to date and to connect with local customers. All right, so now that I've covered sharing content via Google My Business, let's talk about using it to engage with local customers. You can use your business listing to respond to reviews. You can answer messages and questions, and you can get calls from interested consumers. So let's take a look at how. We'll start with online reviews. With Google My Business, you can read and respond to reviews left by customers about your business. Your responses can provide answers to questions, solutions to issues, and shout-outs to people who left happy, positive responses about your business. The manner and the timeliness of your responses can truly build that loyal following among the people who are your business fans. Now, one thing to think about is as you have positive interactions over time with your customers, it's a good idea to ask them to go to your Google My Business listing and write a review. Let them or encourage them to write good things about their experience with your business if it's appropriate. This can really start to help your business stand out. 2 out of 3 customers say that having positive reviews about a business or a product was an important factor when they actually made that selection. If you think about the last purchases that you've made in the recent times, think about how many times you may have read a review about a product or service. So the more you have on your business about your products and services, the more likely you are to help that person take that next step and to complete that conversion. You can also use these reviews to make some really cool marketing materials. I wanted to give a shout out to the Small Thanks with Google program. What you can do is you can actually go to their website, their hub, and then you can turn the reviews that are left about your business into ready-to-use marketing materials like social posts and stickers and posters and more. It's a really neat feature. If you want to see it, you can check it out at this website, smallthanks.withgoogle.com. All right, let's talk about another way that Google My Business can help you engage with customers. It's the click to call button. People who find your information using a mobile device can literally just press a button and that will initiate a phone call. It makes it really easy for them to find you and then just connect with you at the moment that really matters, the moment when they're looking for that product or their service and they see your business listing. This is important. 90% of customers are more likely to visit a store that actually has a phone number when they see it on a search and maps result. Here's another thing that you can do. I love this one. Customers are able to actually book appointments directly from your business listing. So here's how it works. Google has a number of partners, scheduling software providers, and these providers will show, there'll be a link to it on the Google My Business listing that will then let a person who finds that listing directly book an appointment when they see that listing on Google Search and Google Maps and reserve with Google. So what will happen is they'll see your listing, they'll click that link, and then they can book whatever they want, whether it's a facial or a yoga class or an appointment, and whatever you name it. You just hit that button, and then they go directly to that booking site, and then they can find you. There's also a dedicated website called Reserve with Google. It is at google.com/maps/reserve. And all of this is important, and why you care is because 1 in 2 customers actually want to schedule an appointment when they're searching for a business online. So if this is a good fit for your business, I highly encourage you to check it out. Another feature that I wanted to point out that can help you engage with local customers is the ability to answer questions. So Google My Business is going to allow you to actually get text messages directly from the listing. So sometimes a customer or consumer can't give you a call, or to be perfectly honest, if they're like me, I usually prefer texting than talking to people on the phone these days. So now instead, I can actually hit the button labeled messages right on a Google My Business listing when I'm using my mobile device. And then that will send an anonymous message to the business owner that connects me. They will be able to respond back anonymously as well. So we're not sharing our phone numbers, we're just able to exchange messages. So if you decide to try this feature out, make sure that you use a phone number that is able to receive messages, and make sure that you're ready to do that. So if someone sends you a text message, there's probably that expectation that they will get a response, and relatively quickly. It is free to use this feature within Google My Business, but note that if you use your messaging services, data charges that may apply if you get charged for data or messages and things like that. But you can turn it on and off from your Google My Business dashboard under Messages. All right, here's another one called Questions and Answers. So now people who find your business listing can actually post questions, and other people can respond to it. So it's another way to start that conversation about your business. You as the business owner can also respond when people have questions, and you can highlight helpful answers to help the customer community find answers, and thumb up things to, answers that are really helpful and useful for your business. And you can see this on both search and mobile now. All right, so that's talking about how we use a local listing to engage with local customers. Let's get to the third and final part of the presentation, how you will use a Google My Business listing to connect with new potential local customers. So the first thing that I wanted to show you within Google My Business is the Insights reports. The Insights reports really shows you whether or not your business listing is doing stuff for your business. It shows you how many people surfaced your business listing when they searched across search and maps. In other words, when I did a search, how many times did I see your business? And looking at the reports, you can see the different type of searches. You can see a direct search, meaning that someone knew the name of the business. As an example, the example business I use in Nashville, Tennessee is called Bellmead Aesthetics. And I can go into her report and I can see how many people actually typed in the name of her business and had the business info appear via Google My Business on the search results. The other type of result I can see is called a discovery search. And the discovery search would indicate that someone didn't know the name of the particular local business. They just knew what kind of product or service that they wanted to find. And so if someone was searching for facials or skincare, that would be an opportunity for that particular small business to show up when that person was doing that search. And you can use this information to start figuring out, well, based on this information, do I need to build more brand awareness? Do people know the name of my business? Or am I still a relative brand unknown? And are people still searching on more of a category or topic search? The reports will show you again how many searches surfaced your business info, whether it appeared on search or maps. And it can also show you the actions that people took as a result of seeing this information. You can see how many times it resulted in an initiation of a phone call to your business. You can see how many times people actually requested driving directions to your business, or how many times people made a click to visit your website as a result of seeing your Google My Business listing. So that's the first piece I wanted to show you. The second thing I want to talk about is advertising. Advertising with Google can connect your business with new customers. Within Google My Business, you can get started connecting to AdWords Express via your account. Now, many people who are listening to today's live stream are maybe advertising already using Google AdWords. This platform offers many additional features that can help you fine-tune your advertising campaigns. And if you are attending an event that is hosted by a Google partner, they can help you learn more and get started using it. I love advertising with Google because it can help you really focus your ads on the audiences that matter. And if you are a local business, you can use this advertising platform to actually show ads to the people who are your most likely customers. So when you write your ads, whether it's for a hyper-local campaign or even for a global campaign, there are some tips that you can keep in mind that can help your advertising campaigns be more successful. First of all, write ads that are tailored for your audience. Who are you talking to? Are you writing for people who live within a particular neighborhood, or are you writing for people who are all across the state of California or all across the United States? The second thing that you want to think about is, well, what information is actually useful and helpful? What can I add to this ad that I'm showing to people that would give them more information, make them more likely to take that next step? Tying it back to Google My Business, one way that you can do it is actually tie it to location extensions. So you can show your business address and information that's related to Google My Business with your ad. So that's another way that you can use your local Google My Business listing to help promote your ad campaigns both locally and globally. And again, with all of ads on Google, one of the beautiful things is that you can track it. It is incredibly measurable. You can see whether or not the investment that you're spending, the time and the money on your ad campaigns, is resulting in conversions or success for your business, including phone calls. So for all of the things that I talked about, I just talked about creating fresh content and engaging and reaching local customers. There's one piece of the puzzle that I wanted to quickly show you today before we get to the Q&A section, and that is how to verify and manage your business listing. So before you can take advantage of all of the features that I talked about today, you actually need to complete a verification process for your Google My Business listing. In fact, if you're a local business out there listening, you might be like, well, Stasia, I already have it. I'm already showing up when people are doing this search. If you haven't actively claimed the listing, you won't be able to go in and make those updates and take advantage of all of the cool features that I highlighted today. So I'm going to very quickly show you how to do it. One way is to go to gybo.com/business. And then what I want you to do is click the button that's labeled View My Listing. You type in your business name, it'll show you a report about how your business listing shows up, and then some prompts to take you into the next step. You'll search for the name of your business on the map, and then you'll either click on it to continue or click the link that says, let me add the full business details. And at that point, you'll go through some steps to add complete business information that can help your listing appear on Google Search and Maps. And that is what's actually going to show to people when they find it online. The last step is to actually verify that you are the owner of the business. And when you get to this step, there may be a variety of ways that you can do this. Most people have the option to request a postcard, or you can verify by phone. If you are here and listening in today with a partner, you can ask them for help if you are unsure about how to go about verifying your business listing. But that is one of the most important steps that you will need to take advantage of all of the cool ways that I talked about promoting your local business using Google My Business today. All right, for all of those folks out there, I actually don't have my mobile phone on me because I'm in a video studio today and I feel a little nervous because it's not in my hand. But for everybody else out there who has a mobile phone, probably holding it right now, keep in mind that you can make updates on the go by using a mobile app. It's available for both for Android devices and for iTunes devices, Apple devices, and you can get it from Google Play or from the App Store. Once again, just as Teray mentioned in the beginning, if you need expert help, we wanted to give a shout out to our Google partners, and they are the experts who can help you with any of the things that I talked about today, whether it's working on your advertising campaigns or help with your Google My Business listing. And thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening to our information today. So with that, I'm going to pass it to Teray for Q&A.
Awesome. Thanks, Deja.
You're welcome.
I am always impressed by all the features they're adding. It really does make it so much easier to connect with customers.
I know, there's something new to talk about every time I do a live stream.
Absolutely. Well, now it's time for the live Q&A. If you've asked your question, we've been following along on Twitter. If you hadn't had a chance to ask yet, it's not too late. Use hashtag PartnersConnect, and we're monitoring them as we speak. So, first up, Charlie from New York asks, can I still use Google My Business if I don't have a storefront?
Yes. Hi, Charlie. I'm Stasia. So Google My Business works for local businesses with a physical storefront, but it also works for service area providers. And the difference here is that when you're actually creating your listing, there's a checkbox in the user interface that says, I deliver goods and services to customers at their locations. And what that means is that you go to them. So, if you were an HVAC repair company, people don't go to you to fix their air conditioners, you go to them. And what it does is it shows your business in a service area. So you'll actually say, okay, I service products and services, these services within 100 miles of my storefront. And then it will actually hide your address. So people won't be able to get directions to wherever that is, because a lot of people work out of their homes, right? I'll bet a lot of you out there who are service providers have a home-based business. But people can still find you. They just can't get directions to your home, but they can say, aha, look, this is a business that can come and help me in my location within this particular area.
Perfect. Next up, Julie from Kansas asks, does my business listing affect my quality score in search? For example, if I have an engaging listing, will I have a better position in the AdWords auction?
Short answer to that is no. The algorithms are separate. So the AdWords algorithm and the search quality and the quality score that you're talking about is related to the quality of your ads and your ad campaigns. Having a Google My Business listing, however, it's a great fast, free way for you to get more exposure for your business on a search engine results page. And quite frankly, the more real estate your business has on that page, the more likely you are to get exposure to potential customers who are seeing you on that page. So I would say do both, but you are not going to get an inherent boost in quality score just because you have created a Google My Business listing.
Got it.
But you might see an increase in branded searches
Absolutely.
because people are seeing your business like we're mentioning with the discovery.
Exactly right.
So very good to do both.
Very cool. Next up, Jeremy from Toronto asks, how can I drive more positive reviews to my business listing? Should I run an online campaign, encourage my customers to post reviews, add that to my email signature, or something else?
What do you recommend?
I think all of the above. I mean,
know.
I think it's always, they're not going to do it unless it's actually solicited in some way, unless it's an incredibly positive experience or an incredibly negative one, which is why I think any way that you can get that out there and have them have more reviews on the site is a good way to do it.
Yeah, and I mean, just to make it part of your process. Like every time you have a good experience with a customer, just be like, hey, if you don't mind, write a nice review about us. So it's organic. It's something that's going to happen and grow over time, but it will really help you. Do you guys read reviews when you buy stuff?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Spend way too much time.
way too much time reading reviews.
Best travel pillow, right?
300%. I have opinions on that, by the way. If you want to know.
Next up, we have Aaron from Chicago. My business has multiple locations. What's the best way to manage my listings? Is there a tool I can use to help me make updates in bulk?
Yes, there are a couple of ways that you can do this. So if you have 10 or fewer locations, it's probably going to be the most efficient way for you to just manually add the individual business locations in the Google My Business dashboard. But once you get past 10, you have the ability to do a bulk upload, and then you can actually make edits in a spreadsheet and then upload the changes that way. There's also an API. So if you're working with an agency, if you are with a Google partner today, that might be something that they can also help you with, particularly if you've got hundreds of locations and need to make lots of bulk edits. But absolutely, you can do that.
Perfect. Next up, Sophia from Denver. Does a Google My Business listing eliminate the need of having a website?
Ooh.
You want to take it?
Yeah, I'm gonna say absolutely no. It's a great stopgap, but and we do find that some people don't actually go to the website. They can find all the information they need from the listing. That said, many people do actually take that next step to the website, and the website is as important as going into an actual store. It's your virtual storefront. So I would say absolutely does not take the place, but you, as Stacia mentioned, you do not need it to get started on Google My Business.
Right. And I mean, I would consider them two separate things.
Yes.
One's a business listing and one's a website.
Yes.
And having that link, as I mentioned, having a link to the website on your listing is going to be more likely to get those people to actually make those engagements. So a business listing's purpose is to really just get the most critical information out quickly to people who are doing that search, particularly for those local searchers. But the website, like you said, is there to provide all of the info that people are looking for. And content is an important driver these days for people making purchasing decisions. The more information that you have, and you were talking about the curious consumer today, people want answers to questions, and they're looking for details. And so your website is the place where you can add all of that rich content that helps answer those questions for those curious consumers.
And
if
you can make it for free, right?
Yeah, you mean, and also if you do create a website, make sure you put Google Analytics on it. Quick shout out. All right, so you get those, a free tool, you get those insights. So really important.
Awesome. Next up, Danielle from San Jose wants to know, what's the best way to promote my local business? Should I restrict my campaigns to a specific radius around my business or simply bid higher for users in my area?
Ooh, I can take this one. I love ads. I would say that the first step, it's going to depend where you serve. So if you are a business that can serve nationally, then it's going to be a matter of budget, because obviously if you have a campaign that's nationwide, it's going to get quite expensive, or you're just not going to be showing up very frequently. So I'd say the first step is own your backyard, right? So do have a radius around your location that you're willing to serve, but you can take that a step further and say, you know, I'm willing to serve 20, 30 miles out, but I care more about those people that are 5, 10 miles around me or within a particular city or zip code. So I would say having that kind of two-tiered approach is going to be the most important. But as we mentioned, if you are sitting with a partner or agency, they're going to know what the best strategy is for you. But I would say having a multi-layer approach is the best.
And I'll add on that and just say, and you test it. I mean, that's
Absolutely.
the thing. That's the beauty of this. You can see, well, if I do restrict it to this particular radius, what does this do to my bottom line?
Absolutely.
Versus actually expanding. So you can run separate campaigns and test whether or not which ones are more profitable, more and less profitable for your business, and make adjustments. But again, work with your local partners.
And look at your analytics. Your analytics can show you what's working best too.
Awesome. Next up, Joseph from St. Augustine. Can I automate my posts to Google My Business?
Can you automate posts to Google My Business? I'm not sure. I don't think so yet. Maybe with the API yet. Within the interface that I'm managing for the local business in Nashville, we do create them right now. But with the API, you may be able to do that, but I would have to check.
Awesome. Good question. Next up, Vladimir.
Stomp the chumps.
Vladimir from Denver. How does a fully optimized Google My Business account relate to voice search?
Ooh, that's such an interesting question. The short answer is I don't know, but I'm going to piggyback. That's another really interesting trend that we are seeing happening, and it's something to really, you're right on track, something to keep track of, because we are finding that one shift in searcher behavior is the voice-activated search. Now, I think it was 30% of searches that are happening on mobile devices using Google Assistant are actually voice-activated. And the way that people search when they talk is different than when they type in. It's a much more natural language kind of question. Things like, hey Google, I'm really hungry and I'd like someplace to eat, versus best restaurant Mountain View. And so that is a trend that all marketers need to be aware of, and eventually we may require adjustments across our marketing campaigns.
I'm sure they're working on it.
Yeah, you know, Google and the assistant is incredibly important. And if you think about the way Google does anything, it's all about user first. So it's any way that we can provide the best possible information. So I would say absolutely having a full and robust business listing, especially for things like restaurants. That's going to be really important for voice search.
Next up, Alt Media Studios from Cleveland. If customers are impatient, then how long do I have to capture their attention on my site? How quickly should my site load?
Ooh, so
We've got a stat for that.
Yeah, well, with AMP pages, they load in about a second, but people will abandon if it takes more than about 3 seconds to load. Right now, the average of small business websites, it's like 10 to 15 seconds that it takes to load. It's quite a long time. What I recommend, again, and I sound like I'm dating Google Analytics. I would if I could. If he were a man, I would date him. But Google Analytics is a great way to see what your page speeds are. You can also use page speed insights, but that's built right into Google Analytics. So I would say you're shooting for about 3 seconds. That said, you can also see how your page is loading. So if it takes a little bit longer to load the whole thing, just make sure that the assets that are at the top of the fold or the scroll are the ones that are loading first. So really about 3 seconds is what you're shooting for.
And I'm going to add on top of that, the 3 seconds, that's what I've read as well. They've also heard that for every second over that, your conversion rate can drop about 12%.
Absolutely true.
You know, so if you think about it, every second that goes by, you're losing an opportunity to actually make that conversion. Another version, she mentioned page speed insights. There's another tool called Test My Site, and the URL is testmysite.thinkwithgoogle.com, and that will actually give you a quick diagnostic report that shows you the mobile speed for your website as well.
Awesome. John from Indiana. Can I schedule posts in Google My Business ahead of time and then let them drop at a later date?
Going back to those scheduling questions. So the short answer for the scheduling and the automation is that it's still a relatively new feature. I'm not actually sure on that you may be able to do that with the API, but we're going to have to follow up on that one.
Got it. So Laura from Topeka wants to know, what length should videos posted to Google My Business be?
Well, they can't be longer than 30 seconds. So that's the cutoff. So there's a max file size of 100 megabytes, and they can't be more than 30 seconds. And I mean, what have you guys said? Have you heard like 3 seconds, 5 seconds to catch someone's attention?
Yeah,
Something
I
like
would
that.
say really think about the impatient consumer in this case. Like if you notice on YouTube, you'll see the bumper ads are 6 seconds, and that's really our attention span as humans is 7 seconds. It's smaller than a goldfish.
It's like a goldfish,
now,
yeah.
Which is really what are we doing? Are we on camera?
Who are you?
Attention span. Yeah, what's happening? Group hug. Okay. Yeah. So I don't even know what we're talking about. But yeah, five to 15 seconds. Videos,
right,
perfect.
right.
5 to
Yeah.
15 seconds.
Yeah. So it's a very, very short period of time.
Yes.
I'd say you'd be surprised with how quickly you can capture someone's attention if you really push yourself to do it.
Right.
Yes.
And I mean, look at some of the videos that have really taken off and try to see what have they done that made those videos so successful. And again, there's no secret recipe, but you can be inspired.
Absolutely. Next up, Lisa from Savannah asks, if you have a website already, do you still need to create the free website from Google My Business?
No.
Nice and easy.
Next.
You can, but
It's not necessary.
It's not
I would direct all your traffic to one site. Yes.
Awesome.
If you have a nice site, don't worry about it.
Crystal asks, can you include social media links in Google My Business?
no. There are no links to social media in the interface right now.
Other than, you have the Google reviews, which would be the closest thing. So
Right.
you want to get those stars up in the Google reviews.
Yeah.
Awesome. Tamara asks, is it better to change the address or claim a new listing when you move your business?
Interesting. Ideally, you actually change your address, because if you already have customer reviews, you've already been established as being there for a while, you've got that historical data, presumably, the number of views and the insights that you've got. So it's okay to actually move your address and change it. You may need to probably need to re-verify the listing, and that's as simple as requesting that postcard. There are a variety of different ways. Sometimes you can verify using a phone number or being connected to Google Search Console, but I would not delete the old one. I would change the address and re-verify.
Got it. Last question for the day. Tyler from Texas asks, how can business owners find out about more resources that Google provides?
Oh, I would say there's a ton of resources out there. Thinkwithgoogle.com was mentioned a lot of times. Think with Google has different tools that you can use. It's got the page speed tests. It's got different studies. You can also look at things like the AdWords Help Center is really good and getting even better. There is Analytics Academy. There's also the AdWords certifications. There's so many things. Do you have any
There's
others?
tons. I mean, you can get to the gybo.com website for the Get Your Business Online program, where we list lots of resources, including lessons that you can learn about a variety of marketing topics. But, you know, all of those resources, all of the help centers will have tons of information. Pretty much any answer that you want to find is out there.
And please shout out to our partners in this
Yes.
last minute. Like I said, I'm a partner enablement manager, so I love our partners. They're a huge resource. So please, please, please lean on them as well.
Absolutely. I think that was the perfect way to end the Q&A.
Oh,
I'd like to thank Stasia and Jesse for
you,
the
Teray.
super informative presentation,
Teray.
and all of the local businesses that tuned in live. As a reminder to all the local businesses, this should not be the end of the conversation, but the beginning. The partners in the room are really the true experts. They've all been certified by Google to help you grow your business online and can answer any questions you might have. It's like having a Stasia and a Jesse right there in the room with you. Last but not least, we'd love to hear your feedback. I know Stasia and Jesse put a lot of time into this presentation and would love to know what you thought of it. So please let us know on Twitter or go online at g.co/partnersconnectfeedback and let us know what you thought of today. Happy National Small Business Week to everyone, and we appreciate you all joining us and look forward to seeing you for the next Partners Connect.